So welcome everybody to the concert this evening that is being hosted by the Jacob Edwards Library, but we're actually in two different areas. Our guests this evening are in Western Mass and I'm in Northeast Connecticut. But through the power of Zoom and connectivity, we're able to do this virtually, so it's wonderful. And the library does hope to resume having in-person concerts and presentations later, probably towards the late August. And something that people may not know, but we have something lined up in October where we're going to have author Robert Oakes, who will join us again and present his book, on the ghosts of Berkshire County. So it'll be very interesting to have Robert back and in a different mode, and we're looking forward to that. So that's towards the end of October, and it'll be posted on the library website. So we hope that you'll join us again and see one of our guests this evening in a whole different role as writer and so that's great. It's offices of the Cultural Council that we have this evening's programme, and we're very grateful to the funding and ongoing support that we get from the Southbridge Cultural Council. It would be impossible to host these professionally executed programmes without some generous funding, and this is a long-term relationship we've had with the Cultural Council, and we hope that it may continue. So I've known Robert and Kate for a long time. Kate, I've known her since her early days in school, and Robert a little later. And it's just been wonderful to see the two of you develop your skills and your consummate interest in life and verve, and to see how that spills over to the audience when you present your programming. And Jacob Edwards Library has been very fortunate to have you to present in many different modes, and we look forward to, as I say, the program in October. But I don't want to labour the point, because we've got a very exciting program ahead for this evening, and I welcome everybody to the Jacob Edwards Library hosted program present Smith in concert this evening. So welcome.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Margaret.
Well, we're welcoming you not only to where we are in Western Mass, but this is our living room. So we hope that tonight you feel, that you can kick back and relax. We can, we can just pretend like we're all sitting in someone's living room and enjoying the intimacy and comfort that comes from home. So if there's a little shuffling around, please excuse it. But
or dog barking. We do have a great Pyrenees.
Have a big dog.
He's got a big mouth, and he's outside.
And all of that. But for the most part, I think that our music will carry over the dog. So.
Yes.
So we're going to be presenting tonight a variety of songs, some of them which are our own compositions, and some of them are covers that we really love from artists that we really feel near and dear to. But we're going to start out with an Irish traditional called She Moved Through the Fair. My young love said to me, my mother won't mind, and my father won't slight you for your lack of kind. And she went away from me, and this she did say, it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. She went away from me, and she moved through the fair. And fondly I watched her move here and dawn in the evening moves over the lake. I dreamed it one night that my true love came in. So softly she entered, her feet made no din, and she came close beside me, and this she did say, "It will not be long, love, till our wedding day. It will not be long, love, till our wedding day." This next tune is called Stars, and it's by a band called the Weepies. Tangerines are hanging heavy, golden marigold-in hues, teasing a half-pale moon, and I feel the pull to the blue velvet dark and stars, stars, stars. Pink magnolia blushing and coy savors the sun while she shines. You've got yours and I've got mine. Together we glide through the blue velvet dark and stars, stars, stars. All it takes is a little faith and a lot of heart. Back and forth we ply these oars, they move in time and get entwined, green with joy and gray with sorrow, ripened fruit that falls tomorrow, filling us with brilliance. Branches are bare with a pulse underneath, flowering slowly inside. Your hands are warm and my body is white, to hold all the promise of blue velvet dark and stars, stars, stars. All it takes is a little faith and a lot of heart, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a song by the Weepies. They're another husband and wife duo out of the Cambridge area, and they have just a beautiful, gentle sound. I encourage you to look them up if you don't know them already.
You want to talk about the next tune?
Sure. So this tune is another one of ours that we wrote. I was talking to Robert who co-wrote this song, and I was trying to think of something along the sentiment of "Lean on Me." You know, that old song where, you know, it's basically just a very simple sentiment of being able to show up for each other. But I also really loved the idea of it being a song that if we were playing it with a band in a crowded place, that people could swing their drink around to it, in sort of this feeling of like friendship and brotherhood kind of feeling. And in the past year, like so many things, has taken on a different meaning still, and has really deepened with age because of everything we've all been through. So this song is called "Carry the Weight," and it's about being there for each other.
If you have a drink, swing it.
Feel free to swing it, or imaginary drinks.
Any kind of drink will do.
Water.
Nice.
When you're down and out, I will lighten your way. Our love for each other is all we need now. The days will grow dark, the nights will grow cold, but I'll hold up the light and wrap you up tight till the shadows lose hold. 'Cause we all lose our way, and we all fall from grace. We will all see that day when the meaning we lean on is taken away. And I will carry the weight when you're down and out. I will lighten your way. Our love for each other is all we need now.
I've seen you rise,
and I've seen you fall, but there's a spirit inside, a light that won't die, that sees through it all. So show me your heart, and don't be afraid. Just say what you need, whatever you say won't drive me away. And I will carry the weight when you're down and out. I will lighten your way. Our love for each other is all we need now. Yes, I will carry the weight when you're down and out. I will lighten your way. Our love for each other is all we need now. Our love for each other is all we need now.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Well, thanks. I'm just gonna tune my guitar here with using my device, not just like randomly texting in the middle of a performance. And actually, that sort of relates. So I grew up in North Jersey, in a very busy, congested area of the state, of what is really a very busy and densely populated state. And growing up, I had this sense that there might be a world somewhere outside of suburbia where it was possible maybe to find some quiet and some space and some connection with nature. But it took me a little while to get there. When I was a teenager and I was able to drive, I started going out western New Jersey, which is actually very, very beautiful and very rural. Many people don't know that about New Jersey, that it actually has some really beautiful and natural areas. Anyway, I used to love to go to this place called Stoke State Forest and camp there. But the first time I ever went camping, I had to go through a little bit of an ordeal because in the world that I grew up in, like bad things happened in the woods. Like it was a scary place to go, you know? And for me anyway, it took me some time to get used to this idea that I was going to be like out there in the wild, all by myself, with only this thin piece of vinyl protecting me from certain death. I mean, who knew how many ways death could be dealt by whatever creatures were lurking out there in the woods? Some natural, maybe even some supernatural. Who knows what's going on out there? So it took me a little while to adjust to this. And actually, that first night sleeping out in the woods, I couldn't have sleep. I say sleeping, but I wasn't. I was just up all night, constantly on watch, just on this, keeping this vigil against, you know, dangers that I couldn't see. And every once in a while you'd hear something scurry around, something snap, you know, it's like Bigfoot, you know, whatever. Axe murderer? What's going on here?
I don't know which one's worse.
Yeah, I know. And then, but what happened was I actually had really a revelation, an experience I never had before. In the world that I was used to, I had never experienced the gradual dawn, the way that it happens when you're in nature like that, and it's far away from city lights. I grew up right outside of New York City, so it was always light, even when it was at nighttime. And I realized just how gradually and slowly the world awakens from nighttime, and that actually that moment when things are most dark is that moment when you start to feel that shift toward dawn, and that little bit of light starts to creep in, and you start to see definition between the trees, and the mist picks up, and the world just starts to awaken. You start to hear those birds and everything. And so I felt emboldened by this. I felt like, okay, this is getting safer. So I pulled myself out of my little womb-like tent that I was in, and started walking around in this half light. And I felt like I was in a dream. You know, I'd never experienced anything like this before. I just stood by this pond watching this, whatever it was. What kind of creature it would be? Oh, a beaver. That's what it was. And it was just doing this circle round and round in the pond. And I became mesmerized by this. And this song came about this whole experience that I was having. So this is called Before Dawn.
I'm up before dawn, waiting for the sun to shine through the trees. I feel like I'm the only one awake in this world of gray mist and green leaves. And I feel at home, feels good to be alone. Morning mist on the water, stillness and a chill in the air, as all life awakening everywhere anticipates the morning light. It's not quite day, not quite night. I'm up before dawn, waiting for the sun to shine through the trees. I feel like I'm the only one awake in this world of gray mist and green leaves. And I feel at home, feels good to be alone, standing still in the silence, opening like an underground seed, trusting in nothing but a mystery. I open to receive the light. It's not quite day, not quite night. sun to shine through the trees. I feel like I'm the only one awake in this world of gray mist and green leaves. And I feel at home, feels good to be alone. I'm up before dawn, waiting for the sun.
Waiting for
I'm
the
up
sun.
before dawn, waiting for the sun.
Okay. Well, Oscar decided, our dog Oscar decided to pick the quietest song yet, a song about silence, to make his appearance. You may have heard him in the background. All right, he's our backup singer.
Yeah.
So
He's a bit of a diva, though.
Yeah, a little bit. He steals the show every time. So we're going to do a song now that was written by the great Leonard Cohen, and one of the greats, great poet, great singer, songwriter, and such an inspiration in so many ways. This is a song of his that we've been singing just again and again and again, and it never seems to sort of dry up for us as a song. It just constantly providing more inspiration, and just something about the tune. It just seems to open windows instead of closed doors. This is Suzanne.
Suzanne takes you down to her place near the river. You can hear the boats go by. You can spend the night beside her, and you know that she's half crazy, but that's why you wanna be there. And she feeds you tea and oranges that come all the way from China. And when you mean to tell her that you have no love to give her, then she gets you on her wavelength, and she lets the river answer that you've always been her lover. And you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know you can trust her, for she's touched your perfect body with her mind. And Jesus was a sailor when he walked upon the water, and he spent a long time watching from his lonely wooden tower. And when he knew for certain only drowning men could see him, he said, all men will be sailors then, until the sea shall free them. He himself was broken long before the sky would open, forsaken, almost human. He sank beneath your wisdom like a stone. And you want to travel with him, and you want to travel blind, and you think maybe you'll trust him, for he's touched your perfect body with his mind. Ooh. encounters and takes your hand, and she leads you to the river. She is wearing rags and feathers from Salvation Army counters, and the sun pours down like honey on Our Lady of the Harbor, and she shows you where to look among the garbage and the flowers. There are heroes in the seaweed, there are children in the morning. They are leaning out for love, and they will lean that way forever, while Suzanne holds the mirror. And you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know you can trust her, for she's touched your perfect body with her mind.
Thanks. I don't know always where songs come from. You know, a lot of times I don't necessarily sit down to write a song. It's just kind of like one starts to pop into my head and I try to catch it. You know, I try to like, before it can get away. And sometimes it can take years of just like them kind of pieces of them coming back and tweaking it and moving things around, living with it. But this next song actually came to me like almost in a complete download, which is a very rare thing. I woke up middle of the night. It was like 4 a.m. Kate was still asleep. The room was dark. And there was this song, like it was just like there. It seemed to come like sort of out of a dream that I was having. And so I quickly like wrote down the lyrics, and it happened pretty quickly. And I actually could hear the melody, but I couldn't sing it because I didn't want to wake Kate up. So I had to wait a couple hours before I could like record it. And so I just kept singing it over and over again in my head. Anyway, this is the song. It came from this dream. And it was also inspired a little bit by Yeats because I had been just reading his Song of the Wandering Angus. And the melody, or the sort of the rhythm of it, was kind of also stuck in my head. And so I think that helped to kind of inspire the sonics of this particular tune. This is To Let You Go.
I wake up in a memory. I cannot put my dream to sleep. I feel you in the room with me. I feel the darkness in the deep. You step so lightly on the sand and thread the liquid undertow. But I can't hold you by the hand. I have to learn to let you go. Again we spin inside a dance upon the edge of our last day. So little life fits in a chance to look for words I cannot say. We move together on the sand and thread the liquid undertow. I couldn't hold you by the hand. I had to learn to let you go. Ooh, ooh. remake a memory. I must admit that I was wrong to keep you in this room with me. I see the darkness in the stream. I slip into the undertow. When I can free you from my dream, I will have learned to let you go. To let you go. To let you go.
Thank you so
Tune.
much.
Thanks. All right. Do we do the sea song or the mountain song? Thank you, Ted. I see the clap. Thank you so much.
That's up to you. What do you feel like?
All right. We're either going to go to the mountains or the sea. Which is it going to be?
Oh.
All right. By a show of chat, mountains or sea?
It's a choose your own adventure.
First one that we see. Sea. All right. Sea it is.
You got it.
We see the sea. All right. This is another relatively new song of ours. This one, you know, the ocean, the sea. I used to go there all the time as a kid. I used to love to walk on the beach at night, in the middle of the night, when like late at night when no one was there. Because, you know, it was hard to find like a quiet time on the beach at the Jersey Shore. So I love to go late at night and just be there with the ocean. And imagine, I used to see it as this just wall of, you know, just this infinite wall of water and dark, you know, and it was scary sometimes. Like it genuinely frightened me to just sit there and stare out at it, this like what appeared sometimes to be just like this infinite, endless, you know, emptiness, you know. But nevertheless, like it drew me in, and I would sort of sit with it and start to feel like some thoughts and feelings kind of bubbling up that would turn into a song eventually. And that's what this one is about. This is about feeling that fear of going to the depths, feeling that it's inevitable that you must, feeling that once you let go, that actually it washes over you and it lifts you up in a way that is actually quite powerful and beautiful. This is called The Deep.
On the sea tonight, I see it in the water, I feel it in the undertow, in the shadow that I cast, where the moonlight is dancing in the dark disturbances. There is something rising up from the deep.
And as the ocean comes ashore, I make a wall between us. All these words of sand to hide behind, to keep myself unseen. But no matter where I lay them, every word will wash away, 'cause there's something rising up from the deep, from the deep. There are voices in the wind, there are reasons to begin again, but I'm scared to hear that sound. If I follow, will I drown? But I stand still and listen, and I cannot turn away. There is something rising up from the So let my soul sink in the sea, let it wash all over me, let it rise up from the deep inside. Let my soul sink in the sea, let it wash all over me, let it rise up from the deep, there's nowhere left to hide. Let my soul sink in the sea, let it wash all over me, let it rise up from the deep inside. Let my soul sink in the sea, let it wash all over me, let it rise up from the deep inside. That's the tune. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, we're going to do a song now written by Daniel Lanois, who is best known as a producer of other artists. He's produced U2 and Bob Dylan and Peter Gabriel and Emmylou Harris, and the list goes on. And he's a tremendously gifted producer with a very distinct sound. But he's also a wonderful singer-songwriter, and he's put out a lot of albums of his own. And this is a song of his that we love to sing. This is called "The Maker." By did I say his name? I don't think I did. By Daniel Lanois.
Yeah,
did I?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
I don't remember if I did or not.
Oh, deep water, vast and cold like the night. I stand with arms wide open. I've run a twisted line. I'm a stranger in the eyes of the Maker. I could not see for the fog in my eyes. I could not feel for the fear in my life.
in the eyes of the Maker. Your river rise from your sleep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks. Well, I'm going to go back for this next song to that same place that we were earlier when I was surviving a camping trip in the woods. And by surviving, I mean I was just surviving the phantoms of my own imagination, really. Because there was nothing dangerous, really. I mean, the beaver couldn't do much damage. But as it turns out, a little further up the mountain that I used to love to go to, way at the top, called Sunrise Mountain, is a place that you can go and look out over the vistas and see the sunset, see the sunrise, because you got a view in all directions. And I used to love to go up there and watch the sunset. And I wrote this next song that we're going to play about an experience I had sitting in that very spot. Well, we played this song at Kripalu not so long ago here out in the Berkshires. And I talked a little bit about the song. I said how I used to love to go to this spot and how it was so beautiful and so peaceful and so tranquil. And I used to get inspired by it. Anyway, somebody came up after the show who was a school teacher from New Jersey. And she said, you know, that spot you're talking about is actually the highest concentration of poisonous rattlesnakes in the state of New Jersey. And we used to love to take our kids there to see the snakes, which I'm like, okay, that sounds really dangerous, but all right.
That sounds like wise teaching.
It is New Jersey. We like to, give them tough love. But anyway, I thought, well, that's actually kind of perfect, that this place where I felt and found so much beauty, I didn't realize I was so close to death and danger. Well, as it happens, I went back to that very spot this weekend on a little driving trip I made through northwestern New Jersey. And here I was 20 years later, standing in that same location, and the time and just the experience of it all was just blowing me away. It's like, wow, here I am again. And so much time has passed, and yet it feels like no time at all has passed. And I was just getting overwhelmed by this experience. And I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. When all of a sudden, I hear this like rustling, loud rustling in the trees. And like the trees are shaking. And I didn't even think. I just leapt off the rock. I probably screamed. And I ran into the car and closed the door. And I just assumed that that a bear was about to get me. Now, I never actually saw the bear, but I believed that it was there. And I was afraid for a moment to go back. But then I thought, well, I have to go. I mean, my last moment at this beautiful spot can't be me running away in fear. And so I went back. Besides, I had dropped my sunglasses, so I needed to get them. Anyway, I went back and I stood there feeling both the fear of it all, but the beauty of it all, like simultaneously. And I don't know, it was like a little bit of a breakthrough moment. It was really kind of special. So this song is inspired by that place. And it has a certain magic to it. That hopefully this song helps to convey. This is Sitting Beside a Giant, although I might not rename it Sitting Beside a Black Bear, and I didn't know it.
In the face of forever, sitting beside a giant, you and I came together, secure in the shelter we found in each other. We saw the sun lying on a riverbed. We saw the stars flying high above our heads.
We came together
that night. We saw the sunset from Sunrise Mountain. Closed secrets were exposed, and we flowed as if from a fountain. And we drank of that water, just taking it all in. We saw the sun lying on a riverbed. We saw the stars flying high above our heads.
We came together
That night.
I will remember
That night. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, in the face of forever, sitting beside a giant, you and I came together, secure in the shelter we found in each other. We saw the sun lying on a riverbed. We saw the stars flying high above our heads.
and we came together.
That night.
And I will remember
That night. I will remember. 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 I will remember.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well,
Well, we're getting close to the end, and we want to thank you so much for being a part of this tonight, joining us online in this way. And we want to thank Margaret Morrissey from the library director at Jacob Edwards Library, who does so much to create such wonderful programming, cultural experiences out there in Southbridge, and thank her for always including us and inviting us to be a part of that. We also want to thank the Southbridge Cultural Council, who helped to sponsor this event, as well as the Massachusetts Cultural Council and the Friends of Jacob Edwards Library, for making this possible. And we're gonna end here with a song about summertime.
Mhm.
Anything you want to say about? Well, you know what? I'll talk
Are we doing
about
both
time,
songs?
and yeah, we're gonna do 2 songs by Scottish artists, and
Back to back.
back to back, a little Scottish
Farewell.
yeah, farewell. The first one being a very old song that, as far as I know, no one knows who wrote. It's been around. It's one of those tunes that seems to have emerged out of the earth, and everyone's been singing it ever since. That's Wild Mountain Time, a song about the coming of summer. If you know it, please sing along with us. We won't be able to hear you, but we'll feel you coming through to us. And the other song is by a more recent Scottish artist named Eddie Redder. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, this is a song that she wrote probably in the early 2000s, I believe, but it's new to me. And Robert brought it to my attention a couple of months ago, and it really just hit me between the eyes. Again, like, you know, talking about how music has taken on and art has taken on such more depth, and so many things have taken on so much more depth with everything we've just been through collectively. And I kind of was reflecting on. I mean, it made me weep because it made me realize that I really was focusing so much on what I was missing and what I couldn't do and where I couldn't be and who I couldn't see. And that was part of my suffering, in addition to, feeling the suffering of all those who were dying and losing loved ones. But for myself, I got kind of caught up in my own missing out on things, and this song really brought me right back into, you have everything you need, and you are safe and protected and loved. And it was very sobering, so it came at the right time as a good reminder, and may it be something we can all carry forward. The song is Simple Soul, and we're going to sing that right after Wild Mountain Time.
All right, a song for summer.
Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go?
I will build my love a bower by yon crystal flowing fountain, and upon it I will pile all the flowers of the mountain. If you go, lassie, go, and we'll all go together to pull wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go?
If my true love, she were gone, I would surely find another to pull wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? I'd lift my head with each sunrise if I had a simple soul. When I was weary, I'd close my eyes if I had a simple soul. I'm not too complicated, I shiver when I'm cold. I'd make my home where I am bound if I had a simple soul, simple soul. I'd say my prayers and hope to God, and I know that He will know. I will break my daily bread when the hunger starts to grow. It doesn't have to be that hard. If it hurts you, let it go. What you see is what you are when you got a simple soul, simple soul.
an alchemist to turn your dust to gold. But it only takes a child to see the diamonds in the coal. It's not so easy when a habit takes a hold. I never knew it would be so hard to keep my simple soul. I never knew it would be so hard to keep my simple soul.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great
evening.
night. See you soon,
care.
hopefully in person.
Yeah, next time.
Bye.
Bye.